dialectical behavioral bullshit!
Okay, and thank you everybody for joining us for another review for JJ's Needful Things. Today we're going to be talking about Hot Toys She-Hulk. I changed the format up a little bit. I stopped doing the things I like, things I don't like, and I'm just going to go over it in the final part, which is final thoughts and favorite poses. So, if it's a little bit different, this is why. It saves a little bit of time. I know everyone's too busy to watch a 10 to 15 minute video. But as far as this box is concerned, I actually really like it because it's not the image of the figure, it's actually just the image of the character, which I think art or a photograph is always better than just an image of the figure. I just think it kind of leans more towards being a bit more creative or realistic to what we're actually in love with, which is the character. And here we have a nice full shot of She-Hulk. I think one of the things that they really nailed about this figure is just the proportions and the sheer size of her. They definitely get that correct, and she looks like the character from the show. Albeit there are some things that might be a little bit creepy, like her stare, but I think they really have nailed the look of She-Hulk in her She-Hulk outfit that she gets towards the end of the series. You know, I would have liked maybe a suit, maybe a briefcase or something. I'll get into that more, but I think they got the look. I like the silicone body. I think that really goes well with this figure, and I hope they keep doing it. This is actually the best silicone body they ever made, so I'm pretty happy in that regard. And here is a close-up of the head sculpt, and this is one of those things where they definitely nailed the face. It's interesting that they made her smiling because I feel like she had so many emotions during the series. But they got the hair done really well. There's a lot of layers to it. It's not just one solid sculpt. There are other pieces that are attached to it. And you can't remove or do anything to the hair. The hair is just the hair. But it looks good. It looks layered. They got her face right. Her eyes are a little glaring at times, but it looks just like the character, so I'm pretty happy with this head sculpt. It's top notch. And if you look here, it has the movable eyes, which is the same mechanism they always use. They move independently. And one of the problems with the movable eyes is that it's hard to get past the little neck joint, so I couldn't even use the tool they gave me. I had to use a little screwdriver instead.
What's in the box?
In the box, you're going to get a shitty, crappy cell phone that looks like and feels like it came from a cereal box. It's terrible. It's the worst accessory ever. And the only accessory that you get with the figure that's not a hand. Then you get two fists, which is nice because Hot Toys has been giving us one with some figures. The Hulk slap smash hands, so you could do that pose with She-Hulk. Two hands to hold the cell phone or maybe point at someone. You could use them for that as well. And then you're going to get two angry hands, which also can be doubled as hands that you can use to hold someone in the air or hold a boulder or something like that. And two relaxed hands, which are pretty standard for every figure. And it comes with a pretty standard hexagonal stands with the crotch grabber. I'm actually surprised they used that instead of using a clamp, which they typically use for bigger figures, but she's not too heavy, so I think it's okay. So what do you think of She-Hulk?
Well, obviously it's She-Hulk, so obviously she's awesome. Expression is a little bit intense. She's kind of got serial killer eyes, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I
think they should have given it two head sculpts.
Oh, like a normal
like
face.
an angry one and a...
Yeah. I love that she's huge. You know, definitely not going in the living room because she looks like she's gonna murder me. But I like that she's smiling, but she just looks really creepy. That's all.
What would you give it for a score?
Like a 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Sorry, She-Hulk.
Just in too intense, in Always Sunny when they're like the kill.
One of the things that they got right is the musculature. I mean, you look at every angle of this figure, whether it's the calves or the quads, the biceps, the forearms, every part of this figure, all around it, has that silicone body. And it does a fantastic job in making her look just like the character from the show. And the cool thing I think about the silicone bodies is that they feel more real. There's like a squishiness to them, so it feels like someone's body, although she would be hard as a rock, being She-Hulk. But you can see here the squishiness that the body has. It's pretty unbelievable, actually. And it looks like she has panty lines, but that's actually where the leg connects to the body, which is kind of funny. Because I thought they gave her panty lines at first. I thought that was hysterical. But it's not panty lines. It's actually just where the legs connect. Now this brings me to what I like about the figure. I really do like the head sculpt. I really do like the body. I think the silicone body is the best one that we have ever received for any figure. There's only been a couple of them. I know that King Leonidas is one. The recent arms for Thor was another silicone aspect to a body that we've received. There hasn't been that many of them, but they're getting really good at it, which is nice to see because Hot Toys makes the bulk of our figures, and it would be nice to get figures without joints. I think the issues are more outstanding, which is lack of accessories. Like, you gave us a cell phone, also like no suit, no briefcase. She's She-Hulk attorney at law. I think these are things that they could have given us. I also think they could have given us a second head sculpt where she is angry, or one with just a neutral face instead of her smiling, because I feel like that kind of limits what you could do with the figure to some extent. But she's very flexible. It's a nice looking figure, and if you're a huge fan of the show, then it's worth getting. Just think about those negatives. What's my final score? 7.5 Monster Attorneys out of 10.